Hello, Ms. Maria Johnson. My name is Earl Carter, and I'm a substance abuse counselor here at Wildwood Case Management Unit. And I've been assigned your case. Would you like to step down the hall to my office?
Yeah, lead the way.
It's a beautiful color shirt you're wearing today, Ms. Johnson.
Well, I think it's my favorite color.
Would you like a water or something to drink? It's very hot out there today.
Yes, please. Water will be fine.
Here you go, Ms. Johnson.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So before we begin, Ms. Johnson, I would like to go over the therapeutic contract with you and discuss your confidentiality rights as well as its exceptions.
Okay.
Ms. Johnson, you have the right to a confidential relationship with me within certain legal limits. Information revealed by you during the course of therapy will be kept completely confidential and will not be revealed to any other person without your written permission. Under certain legally defined situations, I have the duty to reveal information you tell me during the course of therapy to other persons without your written consent. I am not required to inform you of my actions if this occurs. These legally defined situations include revealing to me about abuse or neglect, if a perpetrator is in contact with minors and there is a reasonable suspicion that they may be still abusing the minor, physical or sexual abuse, neglect, or financial abuse of a dependent adult or an elder is taking place. If you seriously threaten harm or death to another person, I am required to warn the intended victim and notify the appropriate law enforcement agencies. If you seriously threaten to harm yourself, I am required to take steps to prevent such actions, Ms. Johnson. You have the right to ask questions about any of these procedures used in the course of your therapy. Should you choose not to enter therapy with me, I will provide you with the names of other professionals whose services you may prefer. You have the right to terminate therapy with me at any time without any financial, legal, or moral obligations other than those that you have already incurred. I have the right to terminate therapy with you under the following conditions. When I believe that therapy is no longer beneficial to you, Ms. Johnson, I have the right to terminate that therapy. Or when you have failed to show up for your last 2 therapy sessions without a 24-hour notice. Does that sound okay with you, Ms. Johnson?
Sounds great.
Okay, Ms. Johnson,
all the terms.
all right. Ms. Johnson, I would like to let you know that our fees here at Wildwood are $30 per session.
Affordable.
Okay. There are certain pros and cons of counseling, such as for you, Ms. Johnson, improved health, stronger relationships, plus you're trying new things. It could also enhance your future if you are susceptible to the therapy. The cons of this therapy could include, but are not limited to, fears of the unknown. You know, change is a big part of recovery, and that often means that you will be facing the unknown. You may have become accustomed to the life of addiction, and now you have to change what you once knew to create a healthier life. While it may seem scary, but think about all that you could gain from making these positive changes. You will be establishing new routines. You know, you have to break out of the rut that you were in before. This may mean, Ms. Johnson, that you would have to find new places to hang out. You know, you'd have to change the way you deal with the people who you were dealing with before when you were in your addiction. You know, it's scary, but, you know, think about all the things that you'll gain from making these changes, you know.
Right.
So you will be forming new relationships. You know, for some people, it can be hard to form a new relationship and leave those old ones behind. Especially if those are the people that you were used to, and they were the ones who was encouraging you to use. You know, it's necessary to break these bonds. And the biggest con of them all is you'll be spending an ample amount of time away from your family, Ms. Johnson. So I'll need your signature here, Ms. Johnson, on this contract.
Oh, right at the bottom?
Yes, ma'am, right there, and the date next to it, please. Okay. Okay. So can you tell me what brings you in today, Ms. Johnson?
Well, I was recently admitted into the hospital and diagnosed with ARLD.
Oh, okay. So let me make sure that I understand. You were recently admitted into the hospital because you were feeling sick and you were diagnosed with alcohol-related liver disease, and your physician wants you to seek counseling. Okay. So, well, I'm sorry to hear that you have alcohol-related liver disease, Miss Johnson, but I do think it's a great idea that you want to enter into counseling, Miss Johnson. Can you tell me how often you drink?
I drink about every day, 3 beers a day.
About 3 beers a day. Okay.
Well,
So,
more or less, depending on the stress I have at work.
okay. And how much are these beers that you're consuming, Miss Johnson?
Pretty lengthy, about 16 ounces.
Okay. Okay. So you're having about 3, maybe more, maybe less, 16-ounce beers a day?
Correct.
Okay. And how much time does it take you to consume these beers, Miss Johnson?
Usually it takes me about a couple of hours just to unwind and stress and drink the amount of beers I've chosen for the day.
A couple of hours, okay. So probably a couple of hours it would take you, okay. So every day about 3 beers in about 2 hours.
Yeah,
Okay.
sums it up.
Okay. Does that do anything to you concerning your moods or your feelings?
I feel a great deal of relaxation after a long day of work. It helps me to relax and unwind after a stressful day.
Oh, okay. So let me understand. So it's relaxing to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Miss Johnson, have you ever gotten into any kind of trouble because of your alcoholic drinking?
Um, there was this one time, kind of like when me and my friends had gotten into trouble after we had been drinking. We kind of stopped talking because of it, but we were able to work it out, and I've almost lost friends over it.
Okay.
before.
So you were able to work those things out with your friends when you had got into it with them because of your drinking?
Eventually.
Okay. Are there any other areas where it might be disrupting your functioning, Miss Johnson?
Sometimes it's hard to get up and go to work the next morning after I've had hangovers and headaches throughout the day. If I've had it later in the day, it's like I've been late a couple times.
Okay. Well, all right. I've noticed you've mentioned beer, Miss Johnson. Are there any other types of alcohol?
I've tried wines and various whiskeys and shots before, but I always gravitate back towards the beer.
Okay. Are there any other substances that you use currently?
Well, I smoke pot with my friends on Saturday nights.
Okay. So you said you smoke pot with your friends on Saturday nights. And how much pot are you smoking on those Saturday nights? Is it a little bit? A lot?
Maybe about half a handful.
Okay, okay. So pretty much just on the weekends, you said, right?
Sometimes during the week, like just before I go to sleep, I have a joint. It helps with my anxieties and a lot of my worries.
Okay. So have you ever tried to like cut down on your substances, like on the alcohol or the marijuana?
I've tried to cut back on alcohol maybe about a year ago. When I started this job, the one that I have now, I was able to get down to like maybe 1 or 2 beers instead of 3, but then my job got extremely stressful, and I guess I got comfortable and settled, and I went back to having 3.
Okay. Okay. So you went back to having 3 after the job became to be a little bit more stressful. So you think perhaps that maybe the alcohol use is maybe connected to the stress at your job?
Yeah, I would say it's definitely connected because, alcohol could probably make me more prone to irritability and just mood swings, but I guess you have to take the good with the bad sometimes.
All right. Okay. So, have you ever felt bad or guilty about your alcohol use?
Um, I felt guilty with my mother
Mm-hmm.
because it upsets her so much sometimes.
Oh.
Like I feel guilty about my substance abuse upsets her.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes I feel like if I have a fight with my friends, I feel bad about it the next day. Just I guess out of guilt.
Okay. So most of the guilt that you feel is basically because your mother is upset with your alcoholic substance abuse.
Correct.
Okay. Ms. Johnson, is there anything else that you might like to ask that we haven't covered today concerning your alcoholic use?
I was wondering if you had any pamphlets, because I am very serious about trying to get over my substance abuse.
Okay, well, definitely, Ms. Johnson. I'll give you some pamphlets and some literature on alcoholic abuse and the health risks that it could cause to you. So, Ms. Johnson, I would also like to give you some homework. It's some very simple homework. It's a crossword puzzle. And I would like for you to complete it and bring it back on your next appointment. Is that fine with you?
Perfect. I wouldn't mind at all. I love crossword puzzles.
Okay, that's perfect. So our next session, Ms. Johnson, is going to actually be a group session that we'll be having. And I think we're off to a good start, Ms. Johnson, and it'll be interesting to see what you get from doing that homework. So, Ms. Johnson, I'll set you an appointment for next Monday at 8 a.m. Is that appointment date and time fine with you, Ms. Johnson?
Perfect. I really appreciate our session.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Ms. Johnson. It was very nice meeting you, and I'll see you next Monday at 8 a.m. with the homework, right, Ms. Johnson?
Yes, with the completed crossword puzzle.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Johnson, and you have a wonderful day.